Hey, what's going on, guys? I was sitting at work today and I saw that Red Fox Crypto put out a new video on the best Xelis hash v2 overclocks. And I'm a big fan of Red Fox Crypto. I almost always use his overclocks on my rigs because he does a ton of research on them. So I will have a link down to his video below. But today I want to take my rigs, or at least this top rig, the one I have running right now, and put it on his overclock settings and see how much power do we save. Is Red Fox Crypto really the best overclocker? Well, let's find out. Today's video is sponsored by Crypto Miner Bros, a reliable and highly trusted ASIC miner reseller. There are a couple huge benefits to buying from Crypto Miner Bros. The first is that the price on their website is the all-in price shipped to your door, no hidden fees. The second is that they have a massive selection of all the popular miners. My current favorite miner is the DG Home 1, which I got from Crypto Miner Bros. Don't forget to use code MODERN for $70 off each item regardless of price. Purchasing ASIC miners can be risky with tons of scams going around. Why not make it easy with Crypto Miner Bros? Check them out today with the link down below. So in all seriousness, I am just joking. This isn't a competition or anything like that, but I am curious to see, because I'm not using his settings, so if they're better, then I definitely want to run them, especially in times like this, where I actually have two of my rigs off because they're not profitable right now, and efficiency is the king to getting back to being profitable, essentially. So this rig right here is the only one I'm running. This is a mixture of 3060 Ti's and 3070s. There's, I believe, 3 3060 Ti's on here maybe. One of them is a Founders Edition, and then the other one is a mixture of these EVGA XC3 cards. Not actually sure which is which. But, so what I want to do today is let's check out what our efficiency as a whole is for this rig right now. So if we take a look over here, this rig is pulling, let's say 1150 watts. And that's with my overclock settings right here. So if I go into the flight sheet, we can see that I'm using 1305 on the core clock and a core clock offset of 200. So one of the key things from his video that I thought was super interesting and good on him for finding this is that you can actually set your lock core clock way lower and not have to do a core clock offset. So if you didn't know, the higher you do this core clock offset, the more efficient your rigs are going to be. So if you set this to 300, it's going to be more efficient than the 200 it's set to right now. But the issue with that is that my rigs, especially when they have 3060 Ti's on them, will start to crash anytime I go above like 300 or 330. So I normally just keep it at like 200 to not crash it. But he's saying in his video, and I need to look up the settings again, that if you set the memory to, instead of the 1305 I have it set to, down to like, I think it was maybe 1040 or 1140, I'll look real quick, that you don't have to do the core clock offset and you get similar efficiency. So I'm very curious to see with his settings, are my rigs still going to crash? Because normally when I get that efficient using the core offset of 300 or 330, my rigs crash. But with his settings, I'm hoping that isn't the case and I can squeeze out some extra efficiency here. So just to get some base numbers here, this top rig using 1150 watts is using about $3.03 in power per day. That's what that is. And I just checked my Viper pool and I pulled in $2.7 worth of Xelis yesterday, which that would mean we're losing about 33 to 36 cents per day, which to be honest during the winter is not bad at all. So if I can get that even better, then maybe we can even break even on this thing. So what I just quickly did is I calculated an efficiency number for our farm right now. If our hash rate is 337.6 kilohash, divide that by 1150, then we're going to get our efficiency of about 0.293 kilohash per watt. So the higher that number, the better. Now, one thing you need to take note of is that if you refresh your HiveOS, this hash rate value is going to change. So you can see there, it just dropped to 335.9. So I'm going to do a couple calculations and write those down so we can do a couple calculations with the final values to get maybe a little more accurate comparison. Okay, so I've wrote down all of my old efficiency numbers. I'm going to go ahead and delete the overclocks out of my flight sheet so that I can actually do my overclocks in the UI right here for HiveOS. So how I want to do this is I just want to go ahead and get everything set We're going to be deleting our core clock offset. For the memory clock offset, we want to just set this to 5,000. And then for the lock core clock, this is what we want to set to 1140 for 3070s or 1170 for 3060 Ti's. And once I do this once, it's going to go ahead and populate values for every single card. So we'll go ahead and apply that. Now I can go ahead and go into my 3060 Ti's and set these manually to 1170. So we'll go ahead and do that. I think there's 5 of them. Okay, and with that, now we just need to go ahead and apply that flight sheet again, and we will see if our overclocks are better than they were last time around. So we'll go ahead and apply that, and let's see what happens. While we wait for that to get set up, you guys may be wondering what's going on here. I'm setting up a salad rig here, and I'm in the middle of another video there, so you guys will be seeing if I think salad is worth it or not, and some initial numbers on my profitability on this rig right here. And another reminder, if you need GPUs for AI, for gaming, for crypto mining, don't forget to check out my gpudeals.net site. It's populated with the cheapest prices on all of Amazon and eBay for every different card. So you want a 3070, go there. It's going to show you the cheapest price on Amazon and the cheapest price on eBay. eBay's coming soon. Okay, let's give this a refresh, and we should start to see this starting to mine. Uh-oh, looks like we got an error. If that doesn't figure itself out, then we will go ahead and restart this. But that could be what I'm talking about, where I used to get a lot of errors when I tried to do the 330 offset, and I would get errors like this. So hopefully that's not what that is, but it doesn't look like it's going to clear itself out. So let's just go ahead and cycle this rig, which is super easy to do. We'll just throw that and then throw it one more time. And hopefully that clears it. And here's the man himself right here. Definitely don't forget to check out his video, guys. So it looks like that first card is still airing. I went ahead and opened a minor log here. We'll see if this is overclock related. So just to cross overclocking as the concern off the list, let's go ahead and set this card alone back to the 1305 that we were on. And with that, for this card, we will want to put back in our core clock offset and see if that will fix it. And then we'll go ahead and restart this. Okay, not a great start so far. So I did a bunch of restarts to try to get that first card to work. Couldn't get it to work, even with the old overclocks in the UI. So then I put back on my old flight sheet, got rid of the UI overclocks, and the old flight sheet has the overclocks in the flight sheet. But as you can see, before I changed pages there, it was running like 160 watts a card. I hate that shit when these things do not apply for some reason. It's like 50% of the time these overclocks do apply, 50% of the time they don't. So I don't know what's going on, but I couldn't get this rig to work with UI overclocks, but I could with this flight sheet overclock. So I'm gonna try again to revert back to this one, but let's just go ahead and set some very base settings here, see if we can get it running, and then we can try to get closer to Red Fox Crypto's settings. That's got to be the biggest downside to having 12 card rigs, is it seems like stuff that should be simple fixes is always causing kind of downtime and having to mess with the rigs. If these were 6 card rigs, this probably works without an issue. So that is the downside. You run into a lot more issues with 12 card rigs, and also diagnosing which card is the one with the issue. If you have 12 of the exact same cards, can also be pretty annoying. So something to keep in mind. All right, well, the good news is we are up and running. I had to go with 1220 on the core. Seems like that's stable for now, and we're sitting at a wattage of 11, let's say 85 maybe, 1190 we'll say. So you'll notice that's definitely more wattage, but I think we have a little bit more hash rate too. So let me do some quick calculations for the 1220, and we'll see if we can continue bringing this down. If we run into more crashes, then this is going to be a similar issue to what I was stating when I do my core offset to kind of lower the power. if I keep getting crashes, then that means that the lower you lower this core, you're gonna run into the same crashes as before, and I likely cannot go as low as Red Fox Crypto's overclocks that he recommended, which some people can, some people can't. It just depends on the silicone. Okay, I've finished the calculations here, and it's actually a pretty good sign. So our old efficiency was 0.293, and our new efficiency is 0.297. Now, something interesting is it seems like both the hash rate and the power back there are swinging a lot more. So I did go ahead and get like 5 values and then took the average of them this time around. But it does look like we're maybe like 1% more efficient with these settings. So I'm gonna try to lower that 1220 even more, assuming this hasn't crashed yet. And it looks like we're good. So let's go ahead and lower that to 1200 and see if we can keep that up and running without any crashes. And maybe we go even lower. Well guys, I ended up bringing it all the way down to 1180. So Red Fox Crypto recommended 1170 for 3060 Ti's. I can't really go any lower without messing with stability, so that's where I'm gonna leave it. But my efficiency for that was 0.2966. So actually, I'm slightly better at 0.297, but I was gonna say I'll stick it here, but I think I actually am gonna go back up to the 1220 because this is probably likely a little bit more stable than what I was running here. So not a crazy improvement from where I was at, but still about 1% better. And I think that confirms that Red Fox Crypto was onto something, and I'm going to be changing my overclocks here. So I'll set these back to 1220 and let this rig do its thing. So that's about it for this video, guys. If you want to know what I think are the most important Hive OS settings, check out this video on your way out. And if you plan on buying GPUs, do not buy any without checking out the deals on my new website, gpudeals.net. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.